Hello, Archie Dunlop here with Talking Astrology with Archie on Thursday, October the 5th, 2023. Today I again don't have a special topic, and so I will just be talking about today's astrology and today's I Ching. So I'm going to move straight into that. So let's look at the astrology for today. And today is Thursday, October the 5th, 2023. So the main thing going on today, well, Mercury has moved into Libra. It's been in Virgo in its own sign. So Mercury was quite strong in Virgo. Remember, Virgo was about thinking, analysis, making sure all the facts were in order. And yeah, Mercury was strong in Virgo. And now it's moved into Libra. So Mercury has certainly weakened because of its move into Libra. It's also weakened because it's moved into the same sign as the Sun. And so, when Mercury is in the same sign as the Sun, it's weakened. Okay, Mercury is very often in the same sign as the Sun. But it's getting closer to the Sun in the same sign. So Mercury is starting to weaken. So we may find that our mind is not quite as incisive as it used to be. At least some of us might, perhaps particularly if you're a Virgo or a Gemini. On the other hand, there's nothing wrong with Mercury being in Virgo. Nothing wrong with Mercury being in Libra. Mercury in Libra is in an air sign. Mercury rules the air signs by night. So this might mean, but during the hours of darkness, our mind is on better form than during the hours of day, because during the hours of day, it's Saturn that rules the air signs. Mercury is ruler of the air signs by night. So in general, it's well placed. It's good for dealing with other people. It's good for fitting in. It's good for being able to communicate in a way that is harmonious, that doesn't rock the boat. So that's probably the most important thing going on today. Aside from that, the moon continues to move through Gemini, so there's a lot of air going on. There's a lot of air today. At least you can see that. So the moon is in Gemini certainly at noon New York time, and it's making two different aspects. The moon is trine Mars. You can see the moon is making a trine aspect to Mars. That's very energetic, particularly on a verbal level. It's also square Neptune. So the moon trine Mars, yes, it's verbally energetic. We can make our point. Yet at the same time, it's square Neptune. So you've got two aspects coming, very close to each other. So moon square Neptune is somewhat confused. Moon trine Mars is very energetic. So we might sort of plow in, say things off the top of our head, think we know what we're talking about, but actually maybe we don't know what we're talking about. So I think we need to be very careful what we say, because in spite of our careful preparations, we might think our brain is working fine, but actually we might make a mess of things. So be careful with that moon square Neptune, because it might trip us up. As far as other things going on, both the Sun and Venus are on the Saturn-Uranus midpoint. So, Saturn-Uranus is quite a tense pair. You know, Saturn is about restriction. Uranus is about the desire to overthrow things. So we're trying to overthrow the things holding us back. And this particularly might manifest in terms of the way we deal with other people. Our interactions with other people might end up being quite abrupt, not necessarily because we mean them to be abrupt, but because we're really going to want to express ourselves, and if we feel that people are kind of in our way, we might just be hasty. And as always, with this kind of aspect, it works both ways. We might be at the receiving end of it, so look out for other people's behaviour. Other people might behave in an abrupt way. So if you see that happening, don't get offended. People sometimes. Sometimes don't quite know how to behave. So that is something to be on a lookout for. I think it's particularly with the sun. Let's just show you what I mean. There's the sun, there's Venus. So you can see that the sun and Venus are in semi-square aspect, and there is Saturn and Uranus. So you can see that the sun is on the Saturn-Uranus midpoint, and then Venus, because it squares the sun, because Venus semi-squares the sun, i.e. it's 45 degrees from the sun, therefore Venus is also on that Saturn-Uranus midpoint. So, don't take out your tension on other people. And if you do feel tense and you can't do anything about it, maybe you should just accept the situation, because the sun moves on. By tomorrow this thing will have gone. So maybe it's just not worth making a big fuss about your inner feelings. So let me now move on to my forecast for the 12 signs. So these are my forecasts for today, which is Thursday, October the 5th, 2023. Aries, you're still finding it difficult to assert yourself in a healthy and coherent way. There are just too many distractions coming both from the inner and outer world, and the things you say could be misinterpreted unless you choose your words carefully. But you're becoming better able to evaluate the consequences of your actions. Taurus, you're capable of becoming seriously confused because of a stressful aspect between the Moon and Neptune. You want things to be simple, but they are not, and trying to understand the different signals is hard work. Yet the Moon is aspecting Mars, meaning that your charisma and charm could be very useful. Gemini, your mental agility gives you a lot of charm, thanks to a trine aspect between the Moon and Mars. Your words and ideas hit home, and at the same time you seem a fun person to have around. But the Moon is also aspecting Neptune. You might be clever, but you haven't got all the answers, and if you lose concentration, you could take a wrong turn. Cancer, the Moon continues to move through a low-profile sector of your solar chart where it makes a useful aspect to Mars. You assert yourself in ways that are secretive, and this allows you to just get on with it without being disturbed. But don't get the wrong idea about things, because right now, surface appearances are deceptive. Leo, people want to talk in a way that is very different from the past. it's important over the next couple of weeks that you give them sufficient space. You might not always like what you hear, but you can nonetheless benefit from it. Also, by reaching out on a social level, you can gain an instant rapport with your kind of person, and maybe there'll be a spiritual link. Virgo. Mercury, your ruling planet, has now left your star sign and is moving through Libra. You understand that it is not enough to get the facts right. You also have to present the information in such a way that everyone is happy. In terms of money, it's important to be reasonable, and profit has to be balanced with the human factor. Libra. The planet Mercury moves into your star sign. You start finding it easy to talk, or at least easier than usual. You know how to say the right things, how to put people at their ease. This means that you can put forward ideas that under normal circumstances might be rejected. It's because you sound so reasonable. Scorpio. You present yourself very clearly and you have the facts at your fingertips. And it's all because you have organised yourself very well. But don't be tempted to deviate from the plan, because if you move away from the script, the organisation could break down and you could end up coming a cropper. Sagittarius. Your social milieu needs to be carefully considered, because social successes and failures could influence other parts of your life. And with Mercury moving into Libra, it's important to curb some of your excesses. You need to gain people's trust and not do things to rock the boat. Your friends are a blessing and also a source of strength. Capricorn. Some things are a mess and it's your job to sort them out. But don't spend too long, because there are other priorities. For example, Mercury is moving into the career angle of your solar chart. It's a time when you need to form alliances and partnerships which are centered around a common goal. Pleasantness is not the same as compromise. Aquarius. The Moon and Mars are in trine aspect, respectively in Gemini and Libra. Aquarius, sign Aquarius, completes the triangle, and you're therefore in a position to be energized by this fortunate configuration. By the way, when I say complete the triangle, I'm talking about the triangle of air signs. So, the Moon is in Gemini, Mars is in Libra, and so your sign Aquarius completes the triangle. But you certainly can benefit from this, but you mustn't be complacent. You just can't just sit back and enjoy a fair wind propelling you forward. No, you have to actually decide on a destination, because if you haven't got a destination, you could end up somewhere you didn't intend. Pisces. There's always a place for secrecy, and certainly not everything can be revealed. But there is information that needs to be shared so that opportunities can be maximised and problem areas avoided. When dealing with your home and family, a transparent and honest approach is particularly important. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish with my I Ching forecast. So as always, I threw the 3 coins and I asked the question, what is Thursday going to be like for people watching this video? So the first hexagram I got was hexagram number 17, following. I think this indicates that we're quite charismatic. People are interested in what we've got to say. And we might have a following. Okay, it might just be one person that wants to follow us, one person that wants to go be in touch with us, one person that wants to I don't know. I should say, I was going to say sit at our feet, but we're not really. I can't guarantee that we're always going to be a guru. But yeah, there are people who are going to want to be in touch with us, but somehow think we're important. Um, but, just because people want to be in touch with us doesn't mean that's a good thing. Um, there are two moving lines here, and this moving line here, fourth line, moves. And so the I Ching warns that some people are going to be trying to flatter us because they want something from us. You know, we can be followed by people who do not necessarily have our best interests at heart, by people who, I don't know, they might want money out of us. Or, I suppose if you've got constant phone calls, people trying to sell products, services, trying to rip us off, whatever. I suppose in a way that's a following, isn't it? People, and beware of flattery. People who say nice things about us should probably be avoided. I know it's nice to have people saying nice things about us, but it's not necessarily a good thing, and it may be a bad sign. So be careful. And then the sixth line moves. This actually talks about retreat. At some stage, we just might not want to be bothered with other people and the world and all its chaos, and we might want to withdraw. But it does seem that there's still someone that wants to be in touch, and someone who is quite persistent. And it's a situation where we should probably come down off our perch, because we have got something to offer, and we may have an obligation to listen to someone and take them seriously, and perhaps impart our wisdom, or impart your wisdom. So that's the first hexagram, and it does move, and it moves to hexagram 42. And 42 is a really very good hexagram. It's about gain. Things increase. It could be money. It could be experience. It could be knowledge. And so the implication here is that there are certainly people we need to avoid. That's true. But there are certain people who we need to attract into our sphere of influence, and we need to interact with them. Yes, they feel that they can benefit from us, but we can benefit from them as well. I said, if it's a sort of a business arrangement, then yes, it may be financial gain. Maybe we can be offered pieces of work, but it's not just about money. We can gain through interacting with people, because we can learn more about the world, and we can become wiser and better informed. So overall, looking at this I Ching, looking at the astrology for today, things look pretty good. So it was a quick one today, too quick, but I know I've had very brief videos yesterday and today. I'm sorry about that, but I will get back to normal in the next video. Okay, so thank you for listening, and I will talk to you again tomorrow, and maybe sooner, because I'm perhaps going to put up another video today. I'll see how things go. Anyway, again, thanks for listening, and I will certainly be talking to you tomorrow.